as disruptive as this time is right now, that is how powerful and how much potential there is to move into your absolute divine self, doing exactly what you came to do this lifetime. There's no more fooling around. We've already gone through the fourth dimensional shakeup. So, welcome to this very extreme time in our galactic history. We have an opportunity right now to transition into the fullness of the fifth dimensional energy that has already come into the planet 18 months ago. Yes, we had that several years of shakeup, which was fourth dimensional unstable energy. But we are in the fifth. So what we want to do is, in this more stable environment of this energy, is to bring forth what we came to do. What is our destiny? What was our purpose this lifetime? I don't know that I've ever had a student that didn't want to know what their purpose was. And we're confused. We're so confused because the potential, too, is almost endless of what it could be, because we've lived so many lifetimes in this universe and other galaxies. So I want to get simply on what's going on right now, as I have watched the playing out, and even myself, instead of saying in the center of the teeter-totter, which I know is vital, which is the still point. I do sometimes go to one side and then the other. So the teeter-totter is going up and down, and it gets confusing. So we really don't know what's going on or what's ours to do. That's the most important part. What is ours to do? We don't want to portray what is ours to do and say, well, I'm not going to get into that darkness or judgment or whatever. I'm not supposed to reveal anything that's going on there, because that's then allowing myself to enter that dimensional reality, that low vibrational reality. I've now entered their realm, and I don't want to enter their realm of consciousness. But the key here is to remember what I found was the most vital part of this. And that was when I started looking recently at them and me, the good, the bad, as we play with. It has to be exposed. But who is it being exposed to? That is the question I want to ask you. Who is the darkness being exposed by? Who is it presenting itself for? That was the question I had to keep asking. If I'm seeing it anywhere, any kind of conflict, any kind of person that looks shady and dark, and it's probably that big, long, black, it looks like a hockey bag from Canada, which immediately the mind goes, there's weapons in there. So we go to the dark side of what they are planning, what they are doing, instead of, why is this aspect of me trying to push away an aspect of the self, the divine self, that asked it to reveal itself in the safety of the sacred heart? The masculine, feminine, as they rest upon each other, that is also what I call the still point. This is where you go into non-duality. So as I was judging these people as dark and their vehicles as really strange, and, I don't know the word for it, but energetically it felt bad. And of course, anything that feels bad, what do we want to do? We want to push it away. But this is the problem. We keep pushing away aspects of not only ourself, but the collective self, the whole. And this has gone on for eons now. And now this is the most profound time in history that I believe we've ever come up against or to. a chance to integrate all of these lifetimes into this still point that is only divine heart. Divine heart, there is no judgment, there's no darkness, there's no right or wrong, there's no left or right. It's all accepting, all inclusive. So as I witness things in the world, especially as we get closer and closer to the truth of what's really ours and shadow aspects of the self to look at, then it really wants to present itself darkness like a nightmare. So we push it away again. We don't go there. We're afraid to go there. We want to cower in a corner and pretend we didn't see it and go play with crystals and light and whatever it is, which is all fine. It's perfect. We need to do that. We need to do the wisdom oils. We need to use the energy of the crystals and all the nature spirits and the flowers and the essences, whatever it is, to help increase our light. But the moment we look at this negative aspect outside of ourself, this dark energy, this evil, say, person, and send it love. Stand in, remove the mind, remove all the judgments, all the imposed beliefs by society, and hold that being in your sacred heart as divine Mother, Father, that sees everything only as perfection, only sees something lost temporarily. And this reminds me of Dr. Zach Bush's video where he talks about cancer cells. And his clinic in Hawaii, they've done lots and lots of healing of extremely advanced stages of cancers and other things. And what he had said was cancer cells are the loneliest cells. And because of that, they start wanting to get attention, right? And of course, how he explains it is far more eloquent. So I'll try to find that link and put it here. But it's so lonely. What is it doing? A child that is lonely, that is ignored, it either withdraws and becomes silent, but most children rebel first. They might be silenced later because no one's paying attention to when they call out to be loved or nurtured or heard. And so what do? They act out more and more and more until you have this child that turns into a little monster child, right? And you wonder how that could have happened. He's rebellious. He does everything that you tell him not to do, he or she. But all at the core, anyone ever wants is to be acknowledged, to be heard, and to be loved and accepted for who they are in this moment, this aspect. So all of these are aspects of ourselves. And those of us that believe in multiple lifetimes from this universe and beyond, how many times do you think that we've karmically stepped out of integrity? I don't even want to know how many I have. Of course, I can kind of see it in the world I create around me. And since I've been working on it for so long, embracing everything that comes into my field, and sometimes it takes a while, and sometimes I go back and forth on what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, but the core is always the same. The core is oneness, love, light. That's it. And the minute that I can embrace that aspect of myself, seeing it in another and embrace it and love it, the energy falls away. It's been really fascinating. So my world shifts rapidly right now, from seeing these dark kind of people coming into town with these, I don't mean dark in color. I don't even want to hear that card. That's absolutely ridiculous. Most people at the core, they know that they're not. It's behavior that shifts their attitude about anything. And we can never pin it on a person, a race, a creed, a country, anything. So I'm saying the energy is like a dream. It's like the nightmare that wants to be acknowledged, seen, heard, so it can be integrated back into the light. That's all. That's all anything ever wants, is to return to light. So these aspects of me, which I started seeing playing out there in a bigger nightmarish way, in a sense, then when I stopped and started just crossing my hands, my right hand and then my left hand over that, the masculine, feminine, I find myself in 0 point in non-duality. And then it's very easy for me to shift, and I have been working on this for some time, to absolutely bring this energy through me and expand it, that it actually encompasses them. And I can then have a conversation with them. I can be present, not in any kind of fear, just in acceptance or love, no matter what they have to say or what they're doing. And it has been a really magical experience to witness this from several different consciousness, aspects of consciousness. I'm not sure what the word, I don't think I have a word for it. But realities, it's not even the right word, doesn't matter. Okay, so what I need to mention is that every time you see something out there that looks negative, a person, event, if you can go within yourself and say, what aspect of that situation or that behavior or that person triggered me? And that's the word you use, triggered. Not what did they do or what are they doing? What triggered me? Because if there is a trigger on any level, it's yours to do. It's yours to heal. And that's how we know if there's still more healing to do. So the moment someone does something that part of me goes, then I'm back to bring them back, bring it back. Bring it back to self, to oneness, to wholeness. And I can't tell you how profound this has been. Just bringing through light, just allowing this beautiful white diamond light and golden light to just create these incredible fields around me that I get to send in the world. And all of us are this light, and we're remembering. And in light, there's no wrong and right way. It just is. We just stand in it. So all duality we see out there, all fear, all the horrors, all it is a desperate attempt that had become a nightmare manifest into the world to get collective attention and individual attention to what is theirs to do and heal. What aspect of themselves feels unheard, thrown out, undervalued. And see, the unheard part are the ones that then yell the loudest, do the so-called darkest things, the confused parts of self. When we can embrace those aspects of ourself and in the oneness, as the oneness, when we understand that 0 point, when we understand the solution and the problem always reside in the same place. And I've said before, there cannot be a problem if the solution didn't already exist. So if you can stop, if you're willing, I should say, view the world, not what's happening out there, but if you can view the world from above yourself as your lessons, your profound experiences that you get to have, the realizations of the self, if you can rise above it, because the moment you judge, now you've lowered your vibration again and entered that dimensional reality. If it's third or fourth or just beginning of the fifth. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to take your higher vibration that you are looking from above and watching everything play out. And you don't want to then make a judgment about it. And then what it does instantly is put you in the middle of it. So then you have stress, then you have fear, then you have judgment, then you have every other thing that's happening in the world. So it was interesting this morning too. A dear friend that I've known since I was 5 years old, and we were on the phone yesterday, and I couldn't believe when I got off. It was like 5 hours, and I thought maybe it was 2. And one of the things she had said as her realization was, in all the years we've known each other, I'm the only one in her life that she's never had conflict with. Never. She said, I really thought about that. Friends that are, not as old as you, our length of our friendship, I didn't say that right. Friends that have a shorter span of time together, we have much more conflicts. But I realized the span of our relationship, we have never been in conflict. And I did look at the two of our human design chart and saw where there was no conflicting lines, which, if you know human design, is great for somebody that's a friend, that's a business partner, things like that. But probably if you were in a relationship with somebody, your spouse or what, you want a lot of non-conflicting lines, but you also want some, because when you're hitting up against another energy, that's when you get to learn and grow. But for me, she's been a support system that has been profound, to be that sounding board, that since she knew me so long, I could go back to childhood. She could bring up views. I went back yesterday to even as an infant and beyond, and we talked about all these things, and I found through the night there was this incredible clearing of all past, not just this life. It was just this profound clearing of anything that has to do with the past, and therefore there's nothing I'm projecting into the future. I don't need to be there. Maybe someone else does. Maybe that's their design, bringing the past and the future together for answers for people, but mine is not. It's to stay in this space right now, to stay in the light, to distribute light to those that call out for a question or healing, is to tap into the ray of light that will help them. If it's a green ray of light for the heart, or a pink, or whatever it is, it's not about my mind anymore at all. It's about allowing the light to come through and also expand from within me without. So each of us will find our very unique and distinct purpose on this planet, but it will not reveal itself until we stop judging what's out there, because we are only judging a wounded, deeply wounded part of ourselves that has festered into something horrible sometimes because of how it has been ignored, how it has been hated, how it has been pushed away. So this is a very hard thing for most of humanity, to try to embrace the aspects of self that are presenting themselves in the world, because it's not anyone's world but yours. It's the world you create through your divine heart, and non-interference with the mind. Once you heal and you take responsibility and then heal for your aspect in this participation in this collective potential for awakening. But remember, it's not just where we go one, we go all. It's where we go will take us to the all. But it's our job. It's not about anybody else out there rescuing us, following along, any kind of pack or herd. It is within each of us. We each have a unique design, and each of us must discover that through non-judgment, total acceptance, non-duality. Just cross your hand one over the other. I use the right hand for the masculine first, and it gives the stable foundation for the feminine, the wisdom of the feminine. It's time they came together. They were meant to be working as oneness, not as separation. So blessing, bless your day. Hope this makes sense. I did it on the spur of the moment, so yes, just love. Just send love, be light, and trust. This is a profound opportunity. So don't give up. Don't give up.